Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. My name is Johnny Bottles, although the ladies call me Cheeto Fingers. To my left is Dr. Don Wayne, the neckbeard psychologist from Twitter. You know him, you love him, you can't live without him. So some people want to fight him. Be that as it may, Don, there's a lot going on in the world of professional wrestling right now, especially with the WWE, especially with TNA wrestling, which we haven't really touched upon. We will later on in the program.
That shit show.
And there was a show last night, Don. There was a press conference last night in Las Vegas. All the stars were out. And it drew more people to that press conference than the average episode of AEW Dynamite. What say you?
I want to turn your microphone up just a hair. A little quiet coming through. But yesterday we did a show, and this show goes about as well as wrestling goes, in my opinion. When there's not a lot going on, it's hard to do this. And there was some bad shit this week in the wrestling world. Right. AEW was horrible. Where they were going with the WWE, it was all over the place. It wasn't making a whole lot of sense. I didn't know what was going on. It was sort of depressing me as a fan. It took me back to when I stopped watching this like 8 years ago. And I said, this is just so homogenized. I can't do this anymore.
Sure.
And then the last couple of years are starting to pick back up. And once again, hello, everybody, because we got something now. I don't want to talk about the first 30 minutes of this thing last night. I don't want to talk about that. Yes, I will talk about Billy Jack Haynes shooting his wife later. But right now, we're starting off with a feel-good story. We're going to talk about something that got me hyped last night. They booed the shit out of The Rock. They booed him out of the building, Johnny. Were you more surprised at the boos or at the what chance from the outset? Just didn't want a single piece of him last night.
They wanted nothing to do with that man last night, except for at the climax of the angle. They were all involved in that. They had something, you've got something cooking right now. They were involved in all that. And I got to say that he handled the what chance brilliantly. He really, really,
he sort of fed into
navigated his way around that. So.
Yeah.
Because he was right there where the what chance started years ago. So he knows how to deal with it.
I have never seen. I haven't seen him get booed like that, like he said, since he was Rocky Maivia. Look, here it is. And this is where it gets crazy, right? I got two fans that watch wrestling quite a bit. They watch it quite a bit. The first thing out of one of their texts this morning was, looks like the WWE is trying to right the ship. Now you got my interest again. I'm definitely going to watch. The other one, literally 4 hours later, texted me, what the hell are they doing? Why are they doing this Cody Rhodes match again? Nobody wants to see this. It's kind of funny to me because the one guy is, like I said, he's an outsider. He doesn't watch all the time. This got his interest. Cody Rhodes coming in is like, man, why are we doing this again? I don't want to do this again. Mm-hmm. I was excited after last night. It felt like wrestling again. It felt like chaos, Johnny Bottles. There was a level of danger. There was a level of excitement. You didn't know what the hell was going to happen next. You didn't know if they were going to pop off right there. Why the hell is Seth Rollins out there is the next question. Like, he's out there. I don't know what he was doing. He was sort of like the third wheel out there.
He was. But they have to keep him involved. They have to let the fans know, hey, I'm still here. I'm Seth Rollins. They've got to keep it going for him. They keep it moving. And they did a great job of keeping it moving last night. They really did. Everybody's facial reactions were fantastic, especially the Walrus. He was in fine form last night.
Always in fine form. The interview that they did with him to start the show sort of set the tone for me. Like, that was great. Where it's like, you want to know his mood? You want to know his mood? That was great to me. He walks off the camera, and you can still hear him screaming, hey, Reigns, how's your mood? That's great. Paul Heyman still gets it. It was so awesome. Had me in tears watching that. There were segments of the show that I found delightful. CM Punk, more of that, please. He kept his name out there. He was shit-talking everybody. When the crowd was cheering or booing The Rock at the beginning, his line of where the hell are these people in 2013 was brilliant. I thought that was top rope level Randy Savage elbow dropping time. Speaking of dropping that elbow, hit the like and subscribe.
Witty, charming, funny, quick. CM Punk was everything on the microphone last night. Looks like Seth Rollins will defend. Just take it down. Stand there dicking hard.
Dick in hand.
Dicking hard. The hard dick in hand.
All right. Good Lord. This
David
was
Gertowitz. Wasn't he a serial killer?
I think so. Up in Canada. He said it. This is just chapter 1.
People can read.
They can read, Johnny.
It's just chapter 1. I'm trying to read it. You take it down so quick. I'm looking at your smiling face, and
that's right, because I'm excited. I'm excited
when I drop
again.
down to read it. You take it down. So.
You're going to drop something later. I guarantee that. Are you not excited now after last night?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can.
Is the microphone level okay?
Yeah, gotcha, pal.
Son of a bitch. Go ahead.
Look, you mother.
What happened to your little beep? It didn't go off.
Yeah, dude. Your hearing's going too. I was excited over all of this. Like I said, there were segments in it that were just bad. Look, I'm not a big Becky Lynch fan. I'm not going to get into that. I wasn't excited about that. It's the Rhea Ripley to me is the draw right now. She's the draw to me. She just is. The Rhea Ripley versus one of 2 women right now since Charlotte is out is the only one I care about, to be quite honest. That's it. That's it. Other than that, I don't care. I've been there, seen that. I don't want to get the T-shirt again, right? That's just me. The Rock.
They need to get some new blood in the women's division. Mix them up a little bit more. I'm glad Bayley's a face. They need a new face. They need a new face on the women's side. They need a new face on the face side. How's that?
Yeah, they do. No, they really
division. And the Becky Lynch match against Rhea Ripley, they got to do something with her. That's a point of interest. I've got more interest vested in Ripley versus Nia Jax than I do Ripley versus Becky Lynch.
Because it's a big girl, and it's going to be where she can actually sell and show she's a pretty good wrestler, and she can sell it. And by the way, she's a heel in name only. Like every time she comes out, they cheer the shit out of her. It's kind of funny it's kind of funny how they do that. Yes, Chris, I was thinking the same thing. More CM Punk on commentary, please. I want more of that. Mm-hmm. Some of the lines they were throwing out in that press conference last night were absolutely amazing.
Great stuff.
Roman Reigns saying, "You came out here in your wife's shoes. I about fell out my damn seat." That was brilliant. And Cody Seth Rollins saying, "You finally showed up to work one day." That was another great line. It was just great insult after great insult.
I like how Punk at the end of the show said, "This is how you fix it. Personal issues can be solved when men fight. Let them fight. If he, meaning The Rock, is mad, they say something about his family. Punch him in the teeth. If Cody's pissed off, he got his hands put on him, punch him in the teeth. It's pro wrestling, for God's sake." That was a direct quote from CM Punk.
There were some other quotes he had last night where he had said something about just start punching people in the face. They'll get the message. It was absolutely
he just punch him in
great.
The face? I would punch him in the face. That's how you solve things. Even with one arm, punch people. He was a funny man. So,
and Alex
more of that on commentary.
Alex wants to know if there will be spring cleaning after Mania. There's always spring cleaning after Mania.
Always.
It happens every year. You're going to see some people get released you didn't see coming. Yeah. You're going to see people coming and going that you didn't think were going to come and go. Michael Cole saying McAfee as a 2-time Hall of Fame nomination was hilarious. I agree. That was funny.
He also said McAfee was undefeated at WrestleMania, but he lost to Vince McMahon that year. So Vince is already written off. He's already been erased completely. He doesn't have many wins at WrestleMania. Vince doesn't. He had one over McAfee, and then that's gone. Purged.
And Chris got another one of the zingers out there. Cody telling Roman and Rock they haven't done any of the cooking the last 2 years. I mean, it was just zinger after zinger. Cody Rhodes coming out and telling Roman Reigns, "You don't get to pick your opponent. I get to pick who I face, and I'm facing you." And then Roman telling him to go to the losers bracket. Holy shit!
That show had Heyman and Brian Gerwitz's fingerprints all over it. All over it. For wrestling history in the last 5 years, I'm sure Triple H brought them all up to speed. Gerwitz, and The Rock and all that. But it was their fingerprints were all over that show last
I'm glad you said that because there was something I wanted to talk to you about from that show, right?
Sure.
This is such a drastic about face from where they were trying to go. It feels like they heard what was happening with their hardcore stingent, the fans that tune in every week who were angry as shit, and they said, "Hey, we probably screwed the pooch here. Trips, we need you to get in here and fix this." He was like, I told you this was going the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And it looked like he had to get in there last night and fix this because this looked like a Triple H show to me. It didn't feel like a TKO show. Like you and I talked earlier. You said TKO worries about the fight, the big fight. They don't understand how wrestling works. Wrestling, it's about the build-up.
Episodic TV.
They don't.
No episodic television. If for a UFC show, they have a press conference like they did last night, and they have all the adversaries together, and sometimes it's a fight, a little scuffle. Sometimes it's not. When they do the weigh-ins and all that stuff.
Yes.
But with this, if they do this all the time before a big show, it's fantastic.
And yes, Cody coming out to no music, there needs to be more of that. There needs to be less homogenized episodes in wrestling. That's what needs to happen. It's just too watered down. It's too predictable. Oh, hit the music. Here comes the next guy. Somebody just needs to run in because they're so pissed off and decide to open up a can of whoop ass. Cody last night came in and opened up a verbal can. It was brilliant. I loved all of it. And I'm just saying, it felt like Triple H was trying to right the ship because it felt like it was going south fast. The fans, the hardcore fans, shit all over this idea. And there's another aspect coming out of this now. There's another big story coming out of this. Mm-hmm. They actually announced the main event now for Mania. Did you see that?
It's Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes.
And there's no Rock anywhere in that poster they released today. Nowhere to be seen.
But that's night, I would assume that would be night 2, Sunday night. What's the main event of night 1?
Night
Rock's
1 is
going to be involved in that.
I don't think so.
And everyone online is they're talking about the Elimination Chamber. The main event will be The Rock and Reigns versus Cody and Seth.
I think you're going to get night 1 of WrestleMania. You're going to see Rhea Ripley close the show. I really think you're going to see that. She's a huge star. I think you'll see Seth go on before her to face Drew McIntyre. And that's what I think you're going to see the cash in on the Money in the Bank. That's what I think you're going to see. Because Cody's going to SmackDown now. I think that's pretty much booked in stone. You cannot screw the fans over 2 years in a row. They will riot and burn. I will get the torches and I will come up to Philly and personally start burning the city to the ground. Get the torches!
Mr. Ross, you're right. You can tell the talent was having fun. I think this is something they're invested in now. They probably helped script some of it, threw a couple ideas in there. This is something different. It's not the same old cookie cutter horse shit that Vince McMahon was writing. I can't tell you how many times he would come to TV and look at the script for Raw and tear it up like an hour before the show and just make matches and write a little piece of business about this. Write a little piece of business about that. He farted on her. And this guy threw, whatever. It's got to be bodily fluids. So, a lot of bodily fluids flying around Titan Towers. So,
Colin, I haven't seen what they're announcing for the Chamber yet. Have you seen it yet, Models? I haven't seen the Chamber announcement yet. I just know of a couple
match,
of matches.
Women's match, men's match, women's match. Rumored Gunther versus Jey Uso at the Chamber. So you'd have to assume Gunther's not going to be in the Elimination Chamber match itself. So, as speaking of Gunther,
just know that they're having the elimination.
That can be the other guy that goes after Seth Rollins if McIntyre is not in the mix. So, they've got a lot of different ways they can zigzag with this, with the main event scene for both nights. And for that matter, what does Bianca Belair do?
I don't know. That's sort of where I was at last night. She came out last night, and she doesn't really have a direction right now. She sort of feels rudderless to me. Like, I don't understand. I guess they want to give Becky the shot at the title with
Ripley.
Help me out here. Yeah, Ripley. I don't know why they're going that direction. I think Bianca's a bigger baby face right now. Her show, right? I don't watch her show. My wife watches her show out of nowhere. My wife was not a fan of hers until she started watching that show. Now she's like, I actually like this chick. Off the screen, she's absolutely gold. She has a personality to die for. Why don't they let her show this on the wrestling show? So I don't know. I don't get it either.
I wish the skipping would stop. The skipping. Stop the skipping to the ring. Good God almighty.
The skipping is getting old in wrestling. Like, why are you skipping to a fight? No one skips to a fight. You didn't see Mike Tyson skipping down the ring before he got his ass kicked by Buster Douglas?
All the women, they made sure all the women would skip. Mickey James was a big skipper. AJ Lee was a huge skipper.
She worked, and you know why? Because she came off as a psychopath. She worked with the skipping. She came off as a total psycho because she was skipping and smiling like a nut job. Like it's almost like they told her skip to the ring and smile, and she took it and said, "I'm going to make this a Joker moment."
It's a
and it worked.
Vince McMahon fetish. Vince McMahon fetish.
We're not doing that, pal. We're not doing that.
Skipping McMahon. Go ahead.
And I read this too. There was a report out there that said that Roman Reigns and The Rock were reported to be offered the Saudi match, and The Rock turned it down and demanded WrestleMania, which is how we got to this point where he got booed out of the building. Got booed out of the building.
Ton of money offered for that Saudi match. But I guess he figures the company stands to make more, maybe, off of WrestleMania both nights. Higher profile, too. It's in this country. Higher profile. Glitz, glamour, Hollywood-esque type, scenarios. What can you do?
I don't know. Who's going to be on SmackDown tonight? Like, I don't know if any of these guys are on SmackDown. I really don't know.
It's been said Roman's not going to be there. Will The Rock be there? Who knows? But the sources are, of course, the usual cast of idiots of who's going to be at SmackDown. So, let me look. I'll look for a graphic. Let me look for a graphic.
You look for that graphic because I have no idea who's going to be on the show tonight. I'm kind of convinced that last night was sort of like their damn SmackDown moment, to be quite honest. That's how it felt to me. I think Roman Reigns is going to fight Cody Rhodes now. I think it's going to be a one-on-one match. I don't think The Rock is going to be the referee for this match. I don't see that. I do believe he's going to be some sort of an outside enforcer type role. I think that's what we're going to see. Larry says Triple H addressed that last night. Tag team eliminator. So there you go. Now, I know they're doing the tag team elimination for the women, but I was wondering who else was going to be on the show. I did see that. Bianca Belair's in that. Yeah, I saw that. But that's all I know.
DIY taking on Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, with the winning team earning a chance at the Undisputed Tag Team Championship at Elimination Chamber. So big match there. Big match there for those guys. And they're all the same height. So it will be hard. It would kind of hard telling them all apart. They're all the same height.
I missed that one, Larry. It was for the men. He said they had
Nick
elimination.
Nick Aldis is going to select United States champion Logan Paul's next challenger for Elimination Chamber. And there's an Elimination Chamber qualifying match between Bianca Belair and Michin.
He said there was one announced for the men. Was there? Don't see it. Okay.
No. Triple H is going to be on the show to talk about what happened yesterday.
That I did see. I know Triple H is going to be on it.
Bayley will address leaving damage control.
Oh, God.
That's what's scheduled for tonight.
Oh, God. Now you turned me off to the show. This might be a DVR and fast forward process tomorrow.
Why's that?
Bayley? Just none of that made any sense. Like, none of it sounds good to me. The best part about Bayley the last literally 3 months was her getting her ass kicked by her ex-group. That was amazing. The lead-up was amazing. You could see it coming. And yes, I agree, Chris. The Rock being an enforcer like Mike Tyson for WrestleMania, where he turns in the end and sets up a feud for his cousin later on down the line. I can see that coming. It makes sense.
Between now and WrestleMania, there's going to be dissension in the bloodline. Who's calling the shots? Is it the new high chief or the head of the table?
Or is it a new member? Because they threw that up last night.
I'm sure they'll bring in. The Rock is probably going to bring a new member in without clearing it with Roman Reigns. And that's how Roman Reigns starts to say, who's in charge here? Who's in charge of this shit? Me or him? Who's in charge? I was here before him. So,
do you have a good shot of that family tree they had last night?
I certainly do, my friend.
Because that was pretty crazy. I couldn't read it. If they'd have zoomed in on a little bit more, it would have been a little bit better. I know there's been some screenshots captured. They threw it up today. So the one name that I heard that was up there was one guy was on that tree, and he's not in the WWE currently. And you know who I'm talking about.
And that guy, if you can see where my little cursor is right here, I'm hovering around it right here in the middle, Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, that's the name. Who's the one on the very bottom far left?
Lance Anoa'i. Lance Anoa'i is a guy who was trained by Booker T in Reality of Wrestling. That's his indie federation down in Texas. and he currently left there, and rumor has it he's at NXT.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
As a trainee. He hasn't been on TV yet or anything like that. Rumor says he's in NXT. The bottom row here, right above that single block right here, I'll read the bottom row. Samu, Manu. That's Alpha Jr. He went to Japan to learn how to wrestle. Then you've got someone named L.A. Smooth. I have no idea who that is.
I have no idea who that is.
I think he's on the indie scene. You've got Jacob Fatu, Naomi, Trinity Fatu, of course. You've got Jonathan Fatu, which is Jimmy Uso, Naomi's husband, and Jey Uso, Joshua Fatu. Next to that, you've got Favana Fatu. I have no idea who these people are. They're obviously not in the wrestling business. You've got Joseph Yokozuna Sifa Fatu. And we talked about who that is. It's Solo Sikoa.
Yes.
His middle name is Yokozuna. Legit.
Where's the original Yokozuna, that family tree? That's what I was wanting to know, too.
He is, if you can see, right on the it's not really a full line. You see where my cursor is right here?
Yeah.
But
he should
right
be on the
there,
same lineage, I think, as The Rock, shouldn't he?
Yes. Same
Okay, that's
lineage
what I
as The
thought.
Rock.
Yeah,
Here's
that's
all
what
the
I
guys
thought.
with the same lineage as The Rock. No, he's not the same lineage as The Rock because The Rock sprang from the gene pool of Peter Maivia.
Yeah, but they were like third or fourth cousins or something like that. They were cousins in some way.
Well, if you look at the top line is Leoso Ripley.
Was that Rhea Ripley's cousin?
No.
Yeah, Rodney Anoa.
Anoa. That Faneni Anderson, which is Peter Maivia.
Okay.
And the people on right up top where it says brothers via blood oath. They're not related, but they're Samoan. But they pledge themselves to be blood brothers.
Right.
That's what we've got going on there. So these two families have basically, everyone's got people that are very, very good friends, and they're non-related, that they claim to be. The guy's like a brother to me. The guy's like a brother to me.
I know.
Yes. And the families intermingle, which is what has happened right down at the very bottom of the tree. The families have started to intermingle down here. So you've got.
I don't want to go through the whole thing. I just wanted to.
I'm surprised about how high up Nia Jax is on this whole scene.
Where is she?
She's second row from the top, far right.
Yeah, that's something's wrong.
She's all the way up there. She's right next to Rocky Johnson. So direct cousins. Right there.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Why doesn't The Rock talk about the black side of his family? Well, look, Rocky, the original Mr. Johnson, was not exactly, his reputation's taken a lot of hits right now.
He wasn't a great guy.
Yeah, you don't want to bring that guy up right now. That guy's got some serious closets in his or skeletons in his closet. You do not want to bring that up because people will rip his ass a new one. That's one guy just persona non grata in wrestling right now because they still haven't figured out everything he did. More news is coming out of his dark history. Like some of the shit he did on Reed is crazy.
He sort of spilled his seed all around the country, Don. All around the country.
Yeah.
All these different relatives are coming out of the woodwork saying,
I know.
Yeah, Rocky Johnson's my father.
Yeah.
Dwayne Johnson he's my brother.
Yeah,
what?
It's kind of crazy with what's going on because they're just now finding out about it.
It's unbelievable. It really is. If you'll notice where it says Dwayne Johnson, where I'm hovering my cursor here, third row, all the way over almost to the right, he's known as High Chief Savuli. Whatever
that's
that
what
means.
he put. That's what he put down. Whatever.
That's what he filled the form out. That's what he put down.
When
High
he
Chief
filled it out,
Savuli.
that's what he put down. Yeah, that shit's his gamer tag, pal.
High Chief Savuli.
Yeah, it's his gamer tag. He was like, that shit'll work.
I just got cussed out by High Chief Savuli on Call of Duty 3, Modern Warfare. What the hell? What the shit is that? It was very, very fascinating to see the Bloodline logo. The Bloodline lineage. Very, very fascinating to see. I dug
it last night, but the crowd did. They booed the shit out of it.
Oh, they did? Absolutely.
It was nonstop boo his ass until it doesn't stop. I was impressed with the crowd. They let it be known how they felt. Again, I don't want to rehash the whole thing again, but everything going on with the commentators to the fan base, that was a hell of a show. It made up for that garbage they gave us a couple of months ago. They made up for that garbage.
Everyone said that Cody Rhodes is dull as mayonnaise, very, very bland and vanilla. However, he's known now because people see the way he interacts with the fans, they see the way he carries himself in public, see what he does for the Make-A-Wish kids, and people just write to Cody Rhodes and say, hey, we don't have the money to go to this local show, and my son wants to get a belt you gave him a long time ago. He wants to get it signed by you. No problem, I got you. He tweets back to him. Next thing you know, he's talking to them in DMs. He gets their address. He sends them tickets. And they see him at the show, and he seeks them out. They go backstage, and he signs all their shit, and they love him. Cody Rhodes is the new John Cena, and that's how he's perceived. Although the hate hasn't been there yet for Cody Rhodes. Wait till a cool heel comes up. Cool as the left side of the pillow. And with the other side of the pillow, I meant to say. He comes in, and let's say like L.A. Knight decides to turn heel, but people still love L.A. Knight. And he goes against Cody Rhodes. That's when you see Cody Rhodes become insufferable. They'll start to boo him a little bit and harangue him from the seats. And the blue will be off the rose for Cody Rhodes, depending upon his challenge. But that's a long time from now. That's 2 years down the road, probably. They all turned on Cena. They loved Cena at first, and they all turned on him after a while. And now they love him again because he represents something from this current generation's childhood.
Did you see the latest comments from one Seth Rollins? Dude, if I could get this Seth Rollins that cut this promo on freaking TV, I'd love to have it instead of the moron we're getting right now. Seriously.
Yes, he really needs upgrade on his gimmick. What would you call his gimmick, Don? He's a revolutionary, He's a visionary.
I would definitely say no. He is definitely not. No, CM Punk is not Miracle Whip. Here's what he said. This is Seth Rollins, by the way. When asked by Ryan Gatos, I think, of Fox News Digital, what it felt like to have The Rock come back and exerting his power. It's just what happens when powerful people exert their power, man. They just think they can do whatever they want and get away with it. It sucks. It just sucks. I don't know any other way to put it. I guess it resulted in Cody getting what he wanted. We'll figure out what's next for the World Heavyweight title, but Cody said it best. It's bullshit. It feels gross to me. 10 years ago, something like that, the last time he came around, I don't like CM Punk, but he did the same thing to Punk. He screwed him over, took his spot in the main event at WrestleMania. It wasn't right. This is who I want to see on Raw. Where's this guy?
Working it. Kayfabe, working it.
I don't care. This is how it should be. This is perfect.
Hey, I agree with you.
Perfect.
Don't shit all over my take. I'm agreeing with you.
And I agree, Mike. Everybody's shitting all over Seth Rollins' belt. They need to have something with that. Something's got to happen.
Shitting on that belt like it's an intern's head.
They really
it's horrendous.
I don't know why they're doing it.
There's a lot of shitting going on in the world of WWE. Just imagine it.
And yes, the hate for Cody Rhodes from AEW fans is where it's coming from mainly. Which, by the way, today they're losing their shit. The AEW diehards are coming unglued. They are not happy with this because they have been reveling in the fact that Cody Rhodes got pushed out of the main event. They were eating this up. Yeah, you see, you look back there. Oh, yeah, now what? Now what? He's going to wrestle for 80.
The guy that hardly ever wrestles. He's not going to wrestle Cody. He's going to wrestle The Rock. Cody's not a star. The Young Bucks are fantastic. Did you see what they did to Sting? A 64-year-old man. And some Make-A-Wish child with a painted face. They beat him up the other night in the ring. It was crazy. It was the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Hangman Page has Down syndrome. Don't hold it against him.
All right. You're out there now. You're out there, Kermit the Frog. I'm going to get you a puppet.
I just can't stand it. I can't stand it.
I'm looking forward to this.
Every Thursday.
Oh, God.
Every Thursday, I got a bad taste in my mouth from watching AEW Dynamite. My mouth tastes like sardines and copper all day long from watching that goddamn show. Okay. Go ahead, Don. What's the other news?
Are you done now?
Let's roll
with
it.
Done?
I'm done. I'm a hateful man. Go ahead.
I like this new Drew McIntyre. I like this guy. What he's doing now, where's this been? This dude, look, wrestling is best when these guys are being themselves, just cranked up to 10. He took to Twitter last night, or today, I should say, and said, shall we talk about that press conference then? Rock, Roman, Cody. Was Seth there? I can't remember. No, he wasn't there. No, he was there. My bad. It felt so out of place with Seth Rollins out there. It felt like here's a moment to put him on the stage, and he's doing not a whole lot. He did drop some good cuss words at him. That was fun to hear. They were just sitting there. I was enjoying that. That was great. A lot of blank spots on that audio last night. Felt old school. Felt like somebody was taking some shit personal. I liked it. What did you think? What do you think of that tweet? That's pretty good, right?
I think that for me, I hate to say it, I think the ship sailed for me with Drew McIntyre. He's probably, a lot of people say he's doing the best work. He's doing the best work of his career. He's fantastic right now. Maybe so, but I still remember the suckitude of the last 3 years of Drew McIntyre. He's a generic big bruiser. He needs to go away for a while. Do a movie. Do something.
No, Larry, I did not catch what Triple H said to The Rock backstage. 6-second bleep. That's nice. That's good stuff. And it could have just been, hey, we're going to bleep this so nobody knows and just add to the drama. That was good stuff, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. This is what they needed. They needed to right the ship, and they did it. On to the next news story.
No. I got what he said.
Oh, God.
I got
what he
said. I got what he said.
Oh, gee, okay.
That's it. That's a little altercation. They were walking past this interview scene with the great Jackie Redmond.
That's got their damn thing on there, buddy. Be careful we don't get black in trouble for this.
Jackie Redmond's right there. It's got the Wrestlemania and the cock up there. But it's on Twitter, so he said, if you don't fix it, we will. Have him talk shit about our family again, I'll slap his fucking teeth out of his mouth. That's what he said to Triple H.
I love it.
All right, then.
I love it. It feels old school. I'm excited about this moving forward. I'm excited about it moving forward.
Did Black Jack Mulligan ever tell anybody to just slap his fucking teeth out of his face? No.
But he did tell him to slap the teeth out of your face. He did say that. He just didn't have to cuss to do it. There's a way to do it without having to cuss.
Your mother's a whore. Hit me with it.
Your mother's a whore.
How would Terry Funk tell Triple H? You fix it.
You know what? You know what, Trips? I gotta go home. My horse is sick.
I can't make WrestleMania.
I gotta go home. My horse is sick, Vinny. Get that girl out of your office. I can hear her in the bathroom.
What's that smell?
There is some bad news coming out of AEW.
What is that?
The big shit. Well, sorry, Paul White is going to have knee surgery.
Well, it's the Paul White.
He's been sidelined since March 2022. It says they're not counting that match he had, I guess, where he fell off a car pretty much. So
yeah, it's selective memory there. Let's not.
No kidding.
Let's not remember something completely ridiculous and horrible.
He's probably going to be out for a while too, because big men like that have knee surgeries.
Out for a while. Where is he now? Where was he before the fight?
He's been doing commentary or something. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, dude. I'm not watching half the garbage they do.
You know what he's doing? He's cashing checks. That's what he's doing. He don't give a
He is
shit.
cashing checks. He's cashing big checks too.
That little moron. That little. Go ahead.
Rasta, I did not hear about Kevin Nash. I must have missed this. Fill us in. So I feel bad for him, man, because it's just when you look at him, you can tell he was in pain. You could tell he was not good. He was not in good spirits. So I felt bad for him. I didn't like reading that. You know, it is what it is, though, when you get that big. If you're going to be athletic, it's going to happen, man. You know what I mean? Like, eventually your knees are going to give out at that size.
Yeah, big guy.
They're also not sure what to do with Jade Cargill, apparently, right now. They're still torn on what brand to put her on. It would be a damn shame if she had her moment at the Royal Rumble and they don't utilize her in some capacity at WrestleMania. I don't care if she just comes out with CM Punk and does like a co-host backstage with the other women talking trash. But you've got to use this woman. She's a star. She can stand there and just look like a star. Have her do a run-in or something. That would be great. Screw somebody over. Do something along those lines. What are you looking at, pal?
I got the Kevin Nash story right here.
Well,
apparently Kevin Nash on his podcast, they were discussing the lawsuit by Janelle Grant, the young lady who, there was speculation about the defecation on her head.
Yeah.
He's thrown his hat in the ring with his comments. Here are the comments, Don. I'm going to read them.
Oh, God. We're doing this.
Now, these are what Kevin Nash said. Not these. The following opinions are not
ours.
Not representative of the Squared Circle Maniacs. This is from Kevin Nash. Quote, these were done to me. If these were done to me by a 77-year-old man, I wouldn't be looking for a payoff. I'd be looking for criminal charges so you can get civil. This wasn't a 14-year-old girl who gave a man a hand job. When they say she's being groomed, well, Jesus, how did she not get out of this? Surely the authorities investigated and the board investigated. They thought he should be brought back. So what did he do? Sean, who's the co-host of the show, says that perhaps people are going after Vince for money because Vince cashed out so much of his stock recently. Well, that's also true. Kevin said his friend got harassed on Rumble weekend when he was trying to book the show because he didn't take time to read the 68 pages after his father-in-law already backed out of the company. Kevin says this woman could have easily had a consensual relationship with Vince and that Linda found out about it, and that's when Vince cut it off. Got the woman to sign the NDA just like the other 4 women did, and clearly there's a pattern here as in cheating, not abuse. Kevin says that the victim's attorney is a short blonde and it looks like she went to the fucking University of Phoenix to get her law degree, whatever that means. She knows nothing about the terminology of grooming. Kevin says Vince has enough money that he'll have no problem with the victim on the stand. Kevin says he's only seen blurbs in the mainstream news, nothing else. Kevin says the 68-page thing wasn't written by someone who knows what the fuck they're doing. Kevin says Vince has enough money. I already read that one. Kevin says he's not going to read all the pages of the lawsuit, but he looked at it because Paul, meaning Triple H, is such a good friend and Vince made him a star. The things that have been alleged are horrific, but if you know Vince, it's a fantasy. It's a power thing. The texts were just fantasy play, and the woman threw Vince under the mother effing bus to get a payout for her and her blonde-haired attorney.
See, I don't know how he could speak on any of this, to be honest. We've already said our piece, and I'm not going to go into it. Nobody was there. There were a handful of people in the room. I don't know what happened. I will let the lawyers handle this, and then we'll discuss it at a later date.
Well, they're blowing up Kevin Nash all over Twitter. They're shitting all over him. And F Kevin Nash. F Kevin
Yes,
Nash.
Mike Mitchell. I know University of Phoenix is a mail-in college. They had commercials all over the place for a while now. It's still out there. They got a couple other ones. Yeah, it's a mail-in college where you take their university online and you take like 5 hours and 20 minutes of their courses and they give you a damn degree. It's a complete scam.
So Nash, being the Matlock of his time, the wrestling Matlock, Kevin Nash, he's an expert on the ways and means of legalities. Do you think that he might have been talking to Triple H and
maybe
had a couple cocktails when he was doing this show? And
maybe
let some of the cat out of the bag.
Well, maybe, but again, I'm not going to comment on that guy. He's got his own problems in life. That guy's been through enough, and God knows where his mental state is right now as it is. I can't imagine losing your son the way he did. It's awful.
His son drank himself to death, basically. So that's what happened there.
Lord, is he really selling shirts NDA for life? That's a damn shame. That's a damn shame. All right. There's some news coming out about the TNA too this week. We didn't get to touch it on because there was so much bad shit going on, and that was just like adding, onions on top of ice cream. But TNA got rid of their guy that was putting them back on the map. You want to cover this a little?
Let's not get that far ahead, saying
Right.
they put him back on the map. He's been there a long
Well,
time.
look, we talked about him a couple weeks ago.
They just got lucky.
Hold on. We talked about him a couple weeks ago because they were making noise. They were getting noise. It looked like they were headed in the right direction. Can we agree on that?
Yes, but they're in a holding pattern right now. The ratings, I checked the ratings. The ratings are at the same level they were, maybe a huge higher than what they were in the first quarter, the first half of 2023. It's telling that In 2023, they were averaging, in the early part of 2023, about 104,000 viewers a week. They were doing
But
well.
again, it's on
Then
Axis.
summertime.
Like, that's their number one problem, correct? Would you agree with me? They're on Axis. That's the shit. And yes, we're going to talk about Billy Jack here in just a minute.
It's a low-level company. TV, it's a cable TV station, network, whatever you want to call it. Access TV is a low-level
It's bottom
cable
tier.
station, bottom tier, and a lot of people don't. They're dropping it because Access TV is like all the other channels. They're increasing their media rights fees. They want more money for their content, and their content isn't good enough. It doesn't garner high ratings, so they're being dropped by, like, a lot of the satellite companies are dropping it. YouTube TV, which I have, dropped Access TV. And I like Access TV for the music content. A lot of music specials.
They do have a lot of,
concerts,
they had a
things
lot
like
of
that.
concerts on there. Yeah, that was always cool.
Yes, they did. It was owned by Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, and he sold it. At one point in time, it was the Universal Channel. And it was UHD. It was known as that. They showed old Universal Studios movies in high definition. That was their gimmick. And now that fell to the wayside when Cuban bought it and turned it into Axis as a multimedia channel. Everybody's still awake out there doing this dissertation for me. And this is what you got. Anthem came in. Anthem owned the Fight Network up in Canada. It was like a Barstool Sports sort of thing with better media rights. They had radio shows. They had cable TV access up there, more so than what Barstool Sports does. And they decided to try their hand and put their finger in the pie of America and buy Access TV and see what they can do with a full-fledged channel. They're not doing well. I'll give it to you.
No, they're not. They're
not doing well.
Do you think Scott D'Amore is heading to another promotion? I think we got to figure out why. We got to find out why he got fired first, because there's some bad rumors going on about that as well. And I'm not going to get into it, but yeah.
A lot of opposing stories. Meltzer's story is that he wanted more money in the budget to hire more people. But let me talk about the ratings again. In summertime, they brought in Naomi, Trinity Fatu.
Right.
She was Trinity. And they lost ratings. Their ratings dipped down from the 104,000 viewer threshold down to the mid-80s. She was not a star for them. She's not a star, period, except by who she's married to and who she's aligned with. Sasha Banks, etc., who she tags with. That's how she's a star. I hate to say it. She's no Charlotte Flair. She's no Becky Lynch. She's no Bianca Belair, for that matter. But, and I like Naomi. I think she's all.
Well, I'm glad she's back. She
Right.
You could tell she was happy.
Looks like $1 million.
Yes, she does.
Looks like $1 million. She's
And
happy
she can
to be
actually
working with her
wrestle.
husband again.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, she's
And she
probably
can
happy back
travel
on a main stage
instead of wrestling in front of 200 people. Be that as
At
it
a-
may.
at a local gym.
At a local gym. She didn't raise the viewers. So
Correct.
what do? They get Nick Nemeth, the former Dolph Ziggler. They signed him. Now, they're paying him more than Naomi. He was a bigger name. The viewership went up to 112,000 on the average, 114,000. So they gained 10,000 viewers by paying Dolph Ziggler probably $250,000 a year. His advantage is he can go anywhere else he wants to and work, especially New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's appearing there also. Mustafa Ali, you remember Mustafa Ali from Raw?
I try
He's
not
coming
to.
in also. He's coming in also doing a politician gimmick.
Isn't he?
they're-
Isn't he a school teacher now? Like last I
never heard
read, he was a school teacher in Jersey.
I know he used to be a cop in Jersey. He's an ex-police officer.
Okay, I just knew he was a. I thought he was a. To hell with it. AEW is about to raise Mercedes Monet.
You're thinking
And I think of the other guy.
Muhammad Hassan.
That's
who
him.
did
Yeah,
this
Muhammad
terrorist
Hassan.
gimmick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
that guy.
I remember now.
Mark Copani. He's Italian,
Yes.
and they portrayed him as he was Middle Eastern.
Yeah, okay.
Vince McMahon. Vince.
Well, we'll
Vince.
see
It's a
where
Vince
TNA goes from here. I mean, that's our TNA moment for the next month. So we'll see what happens because.
But
It ain't-
there's more
it ain't
to it than that, buddy. There's more to it than that.
Oh God, now what? I'm not getting into that other one.
No, not the other thing.
Okay.
Meltzer said that he wanted more money to hire more big names to try to raise the ratings, and they threw the hard data out in front of him, and It didn't mean jack shit, the people he brought in. So he wanted to go ahead. He showed him a letter of intent from an investor group. He wanted to buy TNA Wrestling from Anthem. They said, see you later. And when they said see you later, he didn't realize that it was see you later for good. Well, this is according to Mumbles Meltzer.
Yeah. This is the same guy that hasn't gotten shit right in the WWE in months now.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got a contact at TNA. Who knows?
There was an actual news article that came out today on Billy Jack Hayes. Billy Jack Hayes was arrested today after a fatal shooting left a woman dead.
Not today.
Oh, sorry. Yesterday.
It was yesterday. At 9:30 yesterday morning. That's
says here,
2-hour standoff.
Yeah. Thursday morning at 9:52, he was finally arrested. So, says here, local news reports that the incident unfolded Thursday morning with police receiving a call at 9:52. Upon arrival, they found a woman's lifeless body inside the home. Haynes had not cooperated with officers, and with fears he was still armed, a tactical team was brought in. After a tense standoff, Haynes eventually came out of the home and was detained. There's no ongoing threat to the community, according to police. Neighbor Steve Audrey said the following. I decided to go for a walk, came back home. There were cops everywhere. I was like, what the hell's going on? Why is everything taped off?
That same guy. No, there was it's a duplex house. They lived in a duplex. The woman in the other part of the duplex, the other half of the building, said they were the nicest people. I talked to him all the time. He was the sweetest man. And she was the nicest lady you'd ever want to meet. I thought they were great. I didn't see this coming. I had no idea. And Billy Jack Haynes, he's got some medical issues. He was part of that concussion lawsuit. Was it about 10, 15 years ago, Don?
Yeah, something like that.
All
I remember seeing his name.
WWE wrestlers banded together, and he was in that, even though he only wrestled for 2 years in the WWE.
But he wrestled around for a long, long time. Like
Portland was where he started, I believe. He also went to WCW, wrestled as Billy Jack. And
he was in WCW for a good long time.
He came in under a hood as Blackbeard, or Blackblood, Blackblood, where his whole line was, a Blackblood! A Blackblood! That's all he kept yelling during the match. Came in with a big battle axe. Really looked impressive. But he was gone in a couple of weeks because he was batshit crazy.
Emulator is correct. This is a future Dark Side of the Ring real soon. He was a mainstay, like he said, in Portland for a long time. That's where he got his start. He looked like $1 million. And then they gave him a microphone. It was like, don't do that again. No, we don't need that, pal. You can stop that right now. Don't ever need to hear that guy talk again.
He also said that to Pat Patterson in a shower back in 1987. We don't need that, pal. Don't do that.
What the hell?
You can stop doing that right now. Billy Jack Haynes was a man who was imposed upon by Pat Patterson a couple of times in a shower back in the locker rooms when he went to the WWF. No, it's a matter of.
Well, who said this? Who said that?
Billy Jack Haynes, and I do believe Frenchie Martin said the same thing.
That thing made me laugh.
That paragon of virtue, that paragon of truth, justice, and the American way, Frenchie Martin.
I can't.
I turned around, and Pat's got his finger in the man's buttocks.
And Colin just said something I want to touch on real quick. He said he is a sad realization of what CTE does. I can't say that definitively because that guy did so many steroids and how many other drugs and drank how much booze in his lifetime. Like, how much of that shit killed his brain already versus just a couple? Because they weren't swinging chairs like lunatics back then.
The steroids. You see what that does to the human body. The steroids.
Yeah. Especially the steroids from the 80s. They just ate your ass alive, son.
Just like Pat Patterson in a shower in a locker room.
Stop it! Stop! What's wrong with you, man? The man's dead. Leave alone. Pat Patterson was a good guy. There is a story that just broke on Seth Rollins. He gave a knee update. People were asking about that earlier, and I just got this article brought across me. He said, the knee's good. I really kind of turned a corner this week in rehab. I'm feeling really good. I think I'll be back in the ring in another 3 or 4 weeks. I'm not the same, but I'm way better, and I'll definitely be ready for WrestleMania 100%.
Have you heard the story about Billy Jack was hired by Bill Clinton?
What the hell does that mean?
All these stories were coming out today.
Hold on. Bill Clinton.
All these stories were coming out today.
Wait a minute.
I'm just telling you.
Bill Clinton, the president or the singer? Which one are we talking about?
There's a singer named Bill Clinton. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. No, that was Bill Withers. Bill Clinton was a singer?
I think so. Around here locally.
Oh, Billy Clinton and the Clinton family. Yeah. They sang Boogie Fever. No, that was the Silvers. I'm sorry. No. But Billy Jack Hayes was doing shoot interviews up the yin yang.
Dude.
And he made the rest because he was very he was unfunny Iron Sheik. You never knew what was going to come out of his mouth. It was crazy talk.
I would believe that Bill Clinton, some singer at the Lounge Act, was going to hire him to kill somebody. But Bill Clinton, the president, I'm sorry.
He said that when he lived in Arkansas, he saw
Bill
Clinton
my God.
kill a 16 and 17-year-old boy. He killed them both. And then Bill Clinton hired him to go
Was
kill
Marty Jannetty there? Was
a
Marty
political enemy.
Jannetty there?
He also said he had a saw. He was going to amputate Marty Jannetty's foot for him. But Marty said, no, just throw me through the window. I'll be okay.
Oh, my God.
No, seriously, the Bill Clinton story was a story that Billy Jack Haynes told at a shoot interview. He was batshit crazy.
Clearly, if he just shot a woman.
Absolutely.
It is sad right now. But this was great.
Don, they say that his wife had Alzheimer's. And it was really bad. And it was a mercy killing. He put her out of her misery. Of course, he's got CTE and probably thought she had Alzheimer's.
It's not going to end well.
Who knows? More will be revealed. More details will come out. He's in the slammer right now, being evaluated where he needs to be.
And should have probably been years ago, if we're being honest. Like some of the shit that guy has said and done is just, it's out there, pal. It's out there.
Yeah, it's out there, all right.
You got anything else you want to hit on real quick?
I got some stuff that the great Bret Hart has said about the.
Oh God, what's he say? Speaking of CTE,
comments from Bret Hart about Vince McMahon. I'm going to speak my truth. I'm not worried about Vince's feelings.
Okay, can we stop at that? When I hear I'm going to speak my truth, you're already full of shit. There's no my truth. There's either the truth or a lie. There is no my truth. It's my side of the story and your side of the story. I'm going to speak what I made up in my head.
Exactly. I'm speaking what I made up in my head.
Fucking idiot. My truth.
I'm not worried about Vince's feelings. He's never cared about mine. I don't have any problem with everyone kicking his head around the parking lot. I'm okay with the truth coming out. I don't think this is the only incident of this kind of predatory behavior. I think you'll find that it's everywhere in WWE. It's like Jeffrey Dahmer, Harvey Weinstein, or Jeffrey Epstein. This will be a joke. He'll be used for humor. You'll shake your head at the shock value of some joke about what did Vince McMahon do. He'll always be associated with this story, especially as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I always had a respect for him. Now it's tainted. Tainted. There's that tainted word again. I'm embarrassed that I thought so highly of him. I think despite all the issues I ever had with Vince, I know deep down I've always respected him. Man. But now, knowing what kind of a weirdo he became and scat enthusiast, I have absolutely zero respect for him. I do not think I could ever shake his hand if he extended it. It's too creepy. Also, he doesn't know where the hand has been. Interview with the Slate. The Slate.com is where you will see all this.
Man, I do not want to get on a 10-minute rant about this jackass, but I'm so tired of Bret Hart and his bitching and his crying and his complaining and he really is, as a grown man. Remember Raven's gimmick? What about me? What about Raven?
Sure.
That's Bret Hart as a 60-something-year-old man. What about me? What about Bret Hart? Don't you want to hear what I have to say? Bret Hart was a champion in the company where they were doing some of the worst business they ever did. He then went to WCW where the company
because
folded
they
up.
couldn't afford to pay him on that contract because the business was so bad with him as the champ. The business was so bad at WWE with Bret Hart as a champ, he couldn't draw. And that's why they could not pay him that 20-year contract, the first installment of it. They couldn't do it.
The only person that grinds my gears, the only guy that grinds my gears more than Bret Hart is Shawn Michaels. Anytime he opens his mouth and says some bullshit. And it's fitting that both of those guys were in the WWE together at the same time because both of their horse shit nonsense was overlapping the other one. So you never know who the hell is more full of shit, man. Just god awful.
Right. I've got a little piece of something here for Black History Month, Don. We are in Black History Month.
Yes, we are. What do we got?
We want to show a little something here
Is it Ron
regarding
Simmons?
Black history in wrestling. No, this is a man named Earl Maynard. He is the first black wrestler to appear on the cover of a wrestling magazine. This
Really?
Is, yes, December of 1968. Wrestling Review. 50 cents an issue. Newest fan idol, Earl Maynard.
What year did you say
He's
this
also
was?
1968.
Okay.
Different time back then, Don. Different time.
It was.
This probably had a little outrage around it.
I bet it did.
Yeah, absolutely. Earl Maynard. Good for him.
That's pretty awesome, man. I did not know that. We had a little lesson today.
Yes. And I've got another little lesson for you too. Hang on a second. Let me pull this up, Don.
Oh God.
I'm going down in the bowels of my bookmarks here. Here we
Now
go.
I'm getting nervous.
No, this is good. Lacey Evans and Mandy Rose have announced.
I saw this shit.
They've announced that they're doing a collaboration.
Oh my God.
I'd just like to say, a lot of people might be interested in this. Beer Man, I'm sure will be interested in this. Jimmy C81. I myself would be interested in this collaboration. And I'm pretty interested in this collaboration right now. And all the neckbeards out there, I'm sure they are too. Macy Estrella is her name. The former Lacey Evans, who's now decided to make money by taking her clothes off.
He even said they're doing a collaboration.
They're doing a collaboration. All right. That's what they call it nowadays, even
Larry
the
wants to
kids
know
call
if they're
it
making sandwiches.
Yes, they are. Tuna sandwiches is
I
what
was
they're
going
making.
to say fish patties.
Fish patties. Yes, the McDonald's is got a Mandy Rose filet of fish special coming up.
I can't believe they put, dude.
Hoofa.
Shit's wild, pal. Shit's wild. It's just wild.
The top selling t-shirts on WWEshop.com. Big Don. For February 7th. Cody Rhodes, Claim Your Kingdom, number 1. Cody Rhodes, Claim Your Kingdom, women's size. Women's style, number 2.
Sherry, I'm going to get you a Cody Rhodes shirt.
Let's see if we can get that number 2 up to number 1.
Let's do it.
Let's stop talking about number 2. We're talking about number 2 again. Vince isn't here. Number 3. Cody Rhodes Youth, Claim Your Kingdom. Number 4, I'm surprised by this, the Drew McIntyre Tombstone shirt.
Dude, he has got a following. I'm trying to tell you, there is a fan base for that guy.
Number 5, the CM Punk return shirt.
I got
CM
that
Punk 20, CM Punk 2011 Classic.
Got that one.
Jay Uso Yeet. The Cody Rhodes camo skull. We're going to do a little Stone Cold Steve Austin type thing here. You know what? This is one thing we didn't. I'll finish reading this. Cody, original Claim Your Kingdom shirt, and The Rock, the People's Champ at number 10. And what I want to talk about is, can you imagine if at the main event of WrestleMania, where Cody is fighting Roman for the belt, and the whole bloodline's at ringside, if they allow that, of course.
Okay.
And The Rock is, sitting in a chair at ringside.
Because we got SmackDown in 2 minutes. Wait a minute.
What happens if the glass breaks, Don, and Stone Cold Steve Austin walks down the aisle?
There's not a chance in hell. That's not a chance in hell. But God, it'd be great.
Why say that? Why do you say that?
I just don't see
Why can't it happen? Who would have thought The Rock would be involved in all this?
Because you're not going to bring in Steve Austin unannounced. It's too big a name. It's just
punch kick. It's over.
Now you're thinking.
I'm serious. No match. Punch kick. Throw Solo Sikoa over the thing. Do a stunner on The Rock.
All right, Tony Khan.
Crazy.
All right, Tony Khan. You're all over Tony Khan for not announcing Mercedes Moné. Now you're going to bring out Stone Cold and not announce him at your biggest show of the year?
Why wouldn't you let that be a surprise? The whole place would go banana.
No,
never going to happen. As the famous Pat Patterson used to say, I shouldn't point the finger. I have to pull that finger back down. No chance in hell, like Vince McMahon. The roof would come off the building, BC. You're goddamn right it would. What if Cody brings in Austin as his enforcer? That could happen. That's what I'm talking about.
That's actually a good idea. I could see that.
And I got one last thing I want to say. I'm not going to show anything. Where we were talking about CTE earlier. and we were also talking about AEW earlier. Did you see the match with Jericho and Takeshita?
Yes.
When Don Callis came down and the boys that Don Callis represent were also at ringside, and Sammy Guevara came down. Sammy came down to equalize things.
Yeah.
He pulled a folding chair out from underneath the ring and cracked Powerhouse Hobbs right over the back of the head.
Right over the back.
Where he didn't even see it coming. Didn't see it coming, and he fell over the barricade. Why is that still allowed?
I don't know. I thought they said it wouldn't be anymore.
He hauled off, not in WWE, it's not allowed. He hauled off and swung for the fences when he hit that kid right in the back of the head. Totally ridiculous bullshit. And
Because they're a bunch of fucking amateurs.
outlaw,
Mud
show,
Bullshit.
degenerates. Bullshit.
Kids, thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe.
Kids?
We really appreciate the support.
I tell you one thing. I know who would really, really be interested in that Macy and Mandy collaboration.
Oh,
You know
my God.
exactly who I'm talking about. He's
Stop
going to
it.
drink a fifth of Grey
Stop
Goose.
it.
I'm
Stop
not
it.
talking about Jim Ross. He'll drink a fifth of Grey Goose
Stop it.
underneath the table, and he's going to, he's going to
Sheriff
get on
coming in
OnlyFans.
hot.
Till next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.